just to add to the recipe of the Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. So yeah, right, let's do some live maths for us then. It is indeed Didale that leads the championship. Remember, if he wins this championship, he will officially change his name to Didale, as that's what I've been calling him for the last couple of seasons. So yeah, Didale is on 195 points. It is 20 points for the race victory. And he is currently 18 points clear of Glenn Van Parijs. Glenn Van Parijs is starting down the order because of a penalty yesterday. Huub van Eindhoven starts 19 points behind him in P1. So he needs to go out and win this race. He needs to hope then that Dylan Didale does have a DNF. And if yesterday was anything to go by, yeah, just finishing this race is going to be an absolute challenge on its own. But who knows? Apparently anything can happen in the Porsche Cup Benelux, and that's why we all love it so much. They've got one formation lap to go. The rain is coming down here. It's set up beautifully well. It really is. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to. I'm really excited for this. But here we go. So yeah, one full formation lap then, so they get the chance to figure out exactly what the track is like. It's going to be very greasy very early on. Of course, the track very well rubbered in now this weekend, and with water on top of rubber, yeah, it's not ideal. Huub van Eindhoven then, with that 1 point for being pole position, has kept this championship alive. He is in P1. Thierry Vermeulen then, who got a terrible start yesterday, is P2. Stephen Van Ree and Glenn Van Parijs are in 3rd and 4th. Then we've got Dylan Didale, who, if he finishes P5, he's our champion. It's very much as simple as that. He needs to get 3 points, I think. So 13th position for Dylan Didale. He wins the championship. Then we've got Ghislain Cordil in P6. Sebastian Fremuth in P7. Floris Dullart, P8. Jan Larison and Nicholas Salins as your 5th row of the grid. Philip Toonkens and Xavier Maassen, John de Wilder, Ziad Gerris, Andre Mukovoz and Harold Geiselhart, Ad Geertz and Nicholas van Dierendonk round out your 18-driver grid. Get the snacks, get the drinks, because you're in for an absolute classic here, I think. So the track is dry, but the weather is coming down. No one's using their windscreen wiper though. That is a telltale sign that it's not coming down too heavily. But as soon as they start to use that, you know that they're in trouble. These cars really do suffer with traction at the best of times. Not so much as the old car, but a little bit more similar to a GT3 car at this point. But still, they do struggle with traction out of corners, and they do struggle under braking as well. So add a greasy circuit to this with some high intense braking zones, with some high weight transfer corners as well. Your guess is as good as mine. Where are we all watching from around the world, ladies and gentlemen? I'm watching on YouTube. I can see the YouTube chat. To prove it, I can see that Patrick Harding's here. I can see that Wim Snell's here. I can see that Susan Hoyt's here. Janina Neven, Danny. Who else is in the chat then? MSC Shumi and Giuseppe Tinella. Welcome, ladies and gentle cars. Hopefully you're all well. Hopefully you're excited for this as much as I am. The finale is here. As you see, the lights are on here, and you would think that it was heading into dusk. It's not. It's early in the morning. It's like 11 a.m. No, Andre. No. Watching from the new UK, nice. Lanu. Peter Veerd again, supporting Dylan Didale. Good stuff, Patrick. Shout out to Caroline. Hopefully you enjoy yourself. Right, here we go. Grid forming up. Huub van Eindhoven. One job. Go out, win the race. See what happens behind you. That's all you've got to do, is go out and win the race. Try not to get involved. Yesterday, he's pretty much had his championship hopes taken away from him. No fault of his own. Today, go out, win the race. Hope that some misdemeanors happen a bit further back. But we're about to go racing here. Here we go. It is all in the hands of Dylan Didale then. finish in P13 or higher, and you are the champion, and that is a jump start by Van Dierendonk in the back of the round. That is for sure. That'll be a penalty. And Hu van Eindhoven then straight across then into P1. Didale, you could tell he does not want to get involved in any kind of fight whatsoever. He was looking to go up to P4 and then realised, nope, I'll take P5 all day long. Hu van Eindhoven then has done exactly what he needed to do. As we see a big lock up there. That is Sebastian Freimuth then in the background, as Van Parijs needs to win this race as well. He's coming through the S's here. Up to P3 he would come. I think he might have just made an overtake on Steven Van Rij. Hu van Eindhoven then trying to snake here to break that toe, as Thierry Vermeulen has had a fantastic start. Quite the opposite is what he had yesterday, down in towards the hairpin. He's flashing his lights there. I hate to break it to you, Thierry, but Hu van Eindhoven is not going to see your lights in his rear view mirror because you are not behind him. You are literally to his left. So no idea why you're doing that, but you know, here we are. Through the hairpin. Do they successfully make it through this time? Yes, they do. Congratulations, drivers. You've all managed to get through the hairpin on lap number 1. Proud of you all. Heading then in towards the middle of sector number 2 into the stadium section, and you can just see there that Hu van Eindhoven is very late on the brakes, and Freimuth there makes a bit of a mistake. Didale, he's nervous. He is hugely nervous here. He saw that in his rear view mirror, and he made a very wide exit of that left-hander for sure. He did not want to be taken out as he come then towards the final few corners here. Hu van Eindhoven and under some severe pressure from Vermeulen. And it doesn't really want to be getting involved in this, wants to just drive away. Glenn Van Parijs is loving this. He wants to get up ahead as well. Van Parijs currently second in the championship by 18 points. If he goes out and wins this, Didale has a DNF. He wins the championship by 2 points. Hu van Eindhoven, as it stands, if he wins this race and Didale DNFs, then it would be his championship. Didale right now is in P6. He's golden. He finishes any higher than P13, he will be our champion. Just needs to keep it on the straight and narrow. Don't get involved with anybody else, and you will be the champion. At the end of lap number 1 then, and Van Eindhoven has had a very good start here. P1 is a big lock-up though, front right. Oh dear, that ain't good. That's going to be an absolute freebie then for Thierry Vermeulen and Van Parijs and Steven Van Rij as well. And that's 3 positions in the blink of an eye. And the nerves are setting in here. The track is, of course, very greasy with the moisture on the circuit. And Glenn Van Parijs then is now looking to try and get up into the lead of this race. Had a massive charge yesterday around the second part of this race after being involved in an incident earlier on with Steven Van Rij. And Thierry Vermeulen runs completely wide there. And Steven Van Rij with an opportunity potentially, not quite able to do so. And Van Parijs then looking to try and get up towards the lead as quickly as he possibly can. Championship leader Didale still in P6 then, not really under any pressure from behind, not really piling any pressure on in front, just doing what he needs to do here. Again, use your experience, get the job done, move on, pick up the trophy and spray champagne all over everybody. Into the final sector on lap number 2 then. Thierry Vermeulen being gifted the opportunity to lead the race, and now he's taking every opportunity here. Geiselhardt then has got a 5-second time penalty for incorrect grid position. That's something you don't see every day, that's for sure. But yeah, the weather is, again, very interesting right now. It is kind of drizzling. But with the cameras here, I can't really see how much water's coming down. So hopefully we get some updates as this race goes on from people at the circuit to let us know exactly how much rain's coming down. But also the big telltale sign will be when the windscreen wiper of the cars all decide to go like a really happy dog wagging its tail. So then we really will know if it's raining or not. It's Glenn Van Parijs then. Tries to kind of fake a move up the inside, tries to force Thierry Vermeulen to then run wide. Thierry Vermeulen not taking that bait. Vermeulen, who went from P1 to P20 yesterday in a blink of an eye, he was qualified pole and then just dropped right off the order. They've now dropped Steven Van Rij ever so slightly. Hu van Eindhoven not liking these conditions at all, by the way. As Van Parijs then is going to try and go out wide. Oh, he's going to cut in deep here. Brilliant stuff from him, and he gets the job done. Vermeulen leaves the door open. Oh, it's contact between the two, and well, nearly pit manoeuvres Van Parijs. Van Parijs now leads this race. But right now, Didale is in the prime position. Still P6, just not getting involved. Absolutely not getting involved at all. P6 is good enough. He'll take it. You become champion. Job is a good one. Front 3, as it stands then, are indeed now Van Parijs, Vermeulen, and Steven Van Rij. Van Rij then closing that gap just in behind us. We do indeed have a replay of the start here. And well, there's Van Der and Donk. He went early, that's for sure. And look on the left-hand side of your screen, right-hand side of your screen now, the orange and black car. Look at him. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go for P4, and then instantly thought, oh, hold on. No, I'm actually at the lead of this championship. It's almost like he forgot. And that's what happened yesterday with all of the drivers on the grid. They all forgot that it was the second to last race and that there's championship positions in the offering. But today they all remembered, which is always good. But Didale, he was like, yeah, I'm going to come through, I'm going to make an overtake. And here we go. He can see this in his left-hand mirror of the lockup there and just gets out the way. And we're watching then as the race leader at this point, it was indeed Huub van Eindhoven, unfortunately runs wide. And that is indeed game over as we look at the replay of the final overtake we've had so far in this race. And it's a beautiful little whoop-de-wop from Van Parijs. And as Vermeulen comes back on track, there wasn't really enough room to work with. But as it stands then, Van Parijs leads the way. And that's all he could do, really. Go out, win this race and hope that there's an issue for Didale. Didale in perfect position right now. He's got a gap in front of him to work with. No one really chucking it in behind him up the inside. So he's pretty golden here at this stage in that orange and black car, the number 99 in the background. Van Parijs again just has to go out there and try and win the race and see what happens effectively. So Didale, the champion-elect, did all the hard work yesterday. Again, it's strange how this weekend's worked out because his qualifying has been awful. Considering he was coming into the championship tied in the lead, his qualifying was awful. And I was really worried for his championship hopes. Then yesterday, everybody decided to explode at every opportunity around him. So he was kind of gifted the opportunity to lead the championship by 18 points coming into today. It was, yeah, something that he would have maybe dreamt about the night before on Friday night, thinking, oh, this is what could happen, and then woke up and gone, that's never happening, and it did. So yeah, Didale, again, I can say he's been handed it this weekend, but you put in the hard work over a whole championship, you get those consistent results over the whole championship. That's what gets you into this position, so that if things do fall into your hands, you can take it with both hands. And Van Eindhoven now under a lot of pressure here from Ghislain Cordial. So Cordial very, very close here. And Didale kind of would happily take this position right now. Just 6th position. I'm good. I'll take the championship. But ultimately, he doesn't really want to see people battling in front of him, costing each other time. All it takes, though, is just getting on the power a little bit too early on the white line, on the curb, and race over. This car is so tough to drive. So much fun to drive. It's a beautiful car, but it is really a driver's car. You're always on the limit with the car. You're always stopping it from losing traction. You're always stopping it from oversteering. So yeah, the challenge just to get the car to the end is a challenge in itself. And there's a little bit of a snaking on the exit of that banked left-hander in towards the final couple of corners. And yeah, of course, if you're not nervous at this stage, then, well, you're not human. But a little moment there for sure. So just to clarify, Didale, before this race started, needed to finish in 13th place or higher. Regardless of what anyone else does, if he finishes ahead of 13th position, he will win the championship. So Didale's got this nailed as it stands. Van Parijs, by the way, a full second ahead now. So he's probably just about outside tow range for Vermeulen. Steven Van Rieden, 1.4 seconds further back. Eindhoven, 2.6 seconds further back. Cordial, though, closing up. Cordial having a good job, doing a very good job here. Maybe lost a little bit of time as he got a bit closer to Huub van Eindhoven. Didale is closing up, and you know what's going to happen in this race. The longer the race goes on, the more confidence will come out on circuit, and Didale will think, oh, maybe I'm going to get a little bit mixy in this race, make a couple of overtakes, put on a bit of a show for the fans. He doesn't really want to be doing that. I'm sure we as fans would love to see that, but I'm just not sure that's the best idea. So at this stage, just wants these two to not really slow down too much and just drive away. Thank you, Susan Hoyt. Who knows? Maybe I'll be back next year commentating. I would like to, for sure. I've really enjoyed this series. I really have. I think the driving... Let's ignore yesterday, but the driving standards have been incredible, and there's a big mistake then at the back end of the circuit. That is indeed Toonkens. So Toonkens is all the way around, and I think he had a little bit of help there, didn't he? Yes, he did. Nicholas Salen's there, just giving him a helping hand, little nudge. Van Dierendonk as well. Surprise! Actually, Van Dierendonk should be a 5-second penalty, I think. Let me just check that for you. Well, we've got car 10 warning for track limits, car 15 warning for track limits, car 69 warning for track limits, 2 warnings for track limits at turn number 1. Car number 2's got a warning as well. 5-second penalty for car number 33 for incorrect grid position. And we've got incident turn 8 involving cars 55 and 97. That's what we just saw. Is under investigation. Car 53 then, Van Dierendonk did get a 5-second penalty for the jump start. And Jan Larison then trying to battle here with Sebastian Fremuth. Our AM champion is Jan Larison. So congratulations to him. Floris Dullard as well, the champion of the Pro-Am. That was all done yesterday and sorted. Yeah, now Larison came into this weekend as the AM champion. But Floris Dullard won the championship yesterday, so congratulations to those two drivers. Xavier Marson trying to come through once again. But we've got a battle here between Larison and Fremuth, 2 blue cars. But yes, just the overall championship to sort out, which right now, P6 for Didale is in, he's got the golden ticket. He has got the golden ticket. That's exactly what so I spoke to my dad last night, Susan, and he hadn't seen the race. And normally watches all the races I commentate on, and I was just like, yeah, they forgot how to drive. It was quite interesting that they all forgot how to drive yesterday. This happens in motorsport though, and that's pressure. When you're at the top level, you know, you look at this championship here, there's 3 championships in one, so across the whole grid, they're all fighting for a championship, they're all fighting for their own respective podiums, plus the overall podiums. You know, these are some of the best racing cars there are in the world to not only watch, but to drive. Pressure happens. You know, you're also then couple that with where you're at. Look at the setting, right? We're at Hockenheim. You know, this is one of the most famous circuits in the world, in Europe, maybe even the world of racing. You know, this is certainly a circuit that I always enjoyed watching when I was growing up. It looked a little bit different when I was a kid, not going to lie, but yeah, this is, you know, like a mecca for some drivers, especially in the Benelux region. So yeah, pressure indeed rears its ugly head in different ways, and we saw that yesterday. People were making mistakes, other people couldn't avoid those mistakes, and it's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. De Wilder then behind Gerris. This is for P11 as we come into the stadium section. Looks like they're just going to filter in nicely. And Gerris for that 4-leaf clover will be hoping for a bit of fortune. Top 15 score points as well in the overall. Director picks up the action. Yeah, director's been really, really good. Spec racing. But I'm going to be honest with you, my 2-year-old, who's actually 2 today, by the way, my 2-year-old could have pointed a camera yesterday and found action. It was everywhere. It was, yeah, it was just follow where the smoke and flames were yesterday. It was, yeah, it was an interesting one for sure. Look at Didale though, the number 99, in prime position to win this championship. An absolute prime position. Again, finish above P13 and you are golden. Hoop van Eindhoven and still defending here from Cordial. I don't know what's happened to Hoop here. Was pole position, looking really good. Made one lock up and from then on hasn't looked quick at all. Just falling backwards. Such a shame. Diego Hossu basically Didale, if he finishes above 13th, he wins the championship. The number 99, the bronze and black car. That is it, done and dusted. Barring any mistakes. Van Parijs leading the race would take second in the championship. Van Eindhoven would indeed take third as it stands. So we head to the final half of this race then. Still the lead for Van Parijs. Thierry Vermeulen is in second spot. And have you raced around Hockenheim if you haven't been on two wheels? I would probably say you haven't. So Van Parijs still leads here. Imagine now if someone turned the waterworks on and the rain did really start to come down. I'm not saying we should have that, but just imagine. Just imagine. Bit of a lock up there again from Van Eindhoven. And he was very angry getting out of the car yesterday. Again, it wasn't his fault, his DNF yesterday. And it must take some huge amount. I can't really find a word here. To be able to get yourself, when you're in a championship winning position, you come into this weekend tied on points. And then you qualify pole for race 2, and you're in the top 2 for race 1. Like, for that all to be taken away from you in race 1 when it's not your own fault, to then get yourself back up for a race, that takes some real mental strength, for sure. Like, when you effectively know you're not really racing for anything. As much as he did have a chance to win this championship today, it was so unlikely. Yeah, it must take... oh, that is a mistake here, and, well... There is, well, that's a wing. Looks like I've sat on that wing. It's waving at us. What's happened here then? Oh, there she goes. That is a little bit of oversteer. And I'm wondering if we might have a safety car here. I'm not sure if that car's going to be able to get around to the pits. Oh, that's a big hit as well. Well, we know the driver's okay, so they're still driving, but she's on the power too early, and that's a greasy circuit. There's no contact there. But yeah, the rear wing is now waving at everybody. See this once again. So yeah, just runs a little bit deep, then just tries to recover, tries to hold the position on the power too early. And again, when the Porsches have the power put down a little bit too early, the rear wants to become the front wants to become the rear, like a dog chasing its tail. And ultimately, it's game over. Lots of fluid being dropped by the car as well. And that will be Gerrits's championship over. Very unfortunate. Thank you, Glenn. Normally I get up really, really early to do these racing commentaries, a roll around Europe. But I was woken up earlier because we had a very excitable young boy. And yes, he did receive lots of cars for his birthday. He loves cars. Oh, big lock up there from Freymouth. And yeah, Larrison's all the way around as well. He will appear at some point. Where are you? There he is. So the track maybe starting to get a bit more greasy here. Is there the potential for a fight for the lead? Well, if you look on your screens right now, Thierry Vermeulen has caught right up here. Oh, well, it's because he's made a mistake. So that's 3 people who've made a mistake. So I guess the weather is coming down. Hopefully someone can confirm that in my ear, that the rain... I'm not at the circuit, by the way. I'm in the UK, so I can't actually see what weather we're having here, but it looks like the track is very greasy indeed. As, yeah, Freymouth makes a mistake. Larison then spins the car around, half spin. Gets it going again. Loses a couple of spots. And now all of a sudden we've got a little Duke out for the win. Okay, lovely old job. So can Vermeulen potentially do what he did in Assen and pick up a race victory? That is the question. Again, Van Parijs just has to go out and win this race. He knows if he gets overtaken right now, there is zero chance of him winning the championship. Like, it hands it to Didale, regardless of where he finishes. He could DNF then, and he's good to go. So he needs to win this race just to put some sort of pressure on Didale. And we see how easy it is to make a mistake and go into a barrier, have your race over. Cordill just closing into Hoeve van Eindhoven. Hoeve van Eindhoven trying to find different lines of grip. They are struggling out there. Ah, René de Boer, thank you. Still dry. You hear them screaming. Oh, mistake there by Van Parijs. Just about gets it tucked in. Oh, Vermeulen. Opportunity knocks. You've got to open a door. Vermeulen with an opportunity here for sure. Van Parijs is struggling. And the more he locks up at this stage of the race, the tyres are going to be in shreds as it is. But the more you're locking up at this stage of the race, the less chance you've got of keeping it on the island. You've got to keep it between the mayo and the mustard for first and foremost, and that is a big lock-up, isn't it? Oh, tyre flex. And if you've got any fillings in your teeth, Glenn Van Parijs, they might be rattled out of your head now. That is going to be a very uncomfortable 9 minutes to go. Through the very fast left-hander, down in towards that hairpin once again. Andre VD, some commentators are really professional, and then you get ones like me that wing it. Hopefully you're enjoying what you're listening to, mate. At the hairpin then, and we've got ourselves a red and yellow flag. Be ultra careful. So Vermeulen, again, Van Parijs I think has the overall raw pace here for sure. But he keeps making mistakes, and Vermeulen just needs to, when he gets really close, just pile on the pressure, force that mistake to go down. There's Geerts then, who is going to be lapped here very shortly. So luckily, René, I'm very good at pronouncing names and never get a name wrong. So you're very fortunate in the respect that I've never got a name wrong in my life. And it probably will never happen either. Easy. Toonkens and Mukavos battling for position. So this is for P13. This is for 3 points as it stands. Mukavos there. Saying the Toonkens, if you want to go around the outside, crack on. But you're going to have to be right on it to make it stick. Not able to do so. Didale is still in P6. He's just stayed there the whole race. That's all he needed to do. Yesterday, kept himself out of trouble. And, well, he got the big points to put himself in a championship commanding lead. And today, he has just put himself in a spot where it's just no risk, minimal risk. And you end up taking home the trophy. Toonkens right up the chuff pipe here, then, of Mukavos. It's going to be a late move up the inside. No, just going to move then to the outside to open up the corner. I hope that Mukavos runs wide. Mukavos doesn't, gets it tucked in really nicely. Now they've got the long run down towards the hairpin. So here we go. Let's see, there's the slight mistake there. Oh, that's the equivalent of a Porsche Carrera Cup high five, I think. So there was a little bit of contact here. Toonkens with a late lunge, not quite. Well, Mukavos runs wide. And I think they're going to high five each other once again. Mukavos on the power nicely. Good to see that there's battles all over the circuit still at this stage of the race. This is great stuff. Up towards the stadium section we come, and Toonkens, for 2 laps in a row then, has just been trying to find himself a little opening. Both nailing the braking point. Mukavos maybe on the power a little bit better there. Minimally, gained maybe half a car. And with only 5 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Now it's all about having fun. It's all about leaving everything on the table. Some of these drivers may be back, some of these drivers might not be back. But ultimately, if there's an opportunity to make an overtake, you're not going to be driving these cars for a good few months now. Oh, Lukovos there, almost going through there sideways. Great vantage point for all of the members of the crowd. Now you're just all about putting on a show. Larison then has moved into the pits. So from P12, so all of a sudden now this is for P12, this position. So Larison is into the pits. Toonkin still in behind Mukovos with 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go. As you can see here, Van Parijs then has kind of figured things out, and barring any mistakes, will take the victory in the final race of the season. Steven Van Ree, feel like he deserves a podium for all of the misfortune he's had over the last couple of weeks for sure. So he'd be very, very happy with that. And then we've got this battle here. Again, Cordial just flashing the lights to say, I'm going to miss you, Hoob. I'm going to miss you. We're going to not be racing for a few months together, so I'm just going to flash my lights to let you know that I will miss you. Not able to get a response out of Hoob. Hoob's just holding on to P4 as it stands. And then you've got in behind them, Didale. It's going to take the championship. P6, 3 minutes, 40 seconds to go. It's going to feel like 34 minutes to go for Didale. It'll be the longest 3 laps of his life. We get it, Cordial. You're really going to miss him. You're really going to miss him. Freymuth, by the way, is battling with Marsons and Delart. There was 3 cars there. I think there might be a backmarker car as well, actually. But yeah, we just saw in the background then that Marston's in a bit of a sandwich. Freymuth just ahead of him. Might be able to see it in the background. As Hoob, Van Eindhoven and Cordial come down, as we've got then Didale in a good spot. And yeah, they did. They had to deal with Geertz, actually. Xavier Marsons, the number 9 car, is in behind Freymuth. And we've got Dillard in the number 4. So Larison then, unfortunate for him, he's going to be a DNF today. Definitely showed himself in a fantastic light though this season in the AM Championship. Mixed it with the top drivers in the championship. Larison being the top AM, of course. And actually finished in P7 in the championship for the overall. Although no, Xavier Marson is going to overtake, to be fair. And Floris Dillard. How many points is Dillard going to get for P9? 7 points. So Dillard is going to tie with Larison. And on countback, though, Larison will get P8. So Xavier Martin's going to move up into P7, and Larison's going to move down into P8. So still movements happening. Steven Van Ree is 2 points behind Freymuth. So he is actually going to move up to P4 in the championship, Freymuth being P7, Steven Van Ree being P3 as it stands. So there are some movements happening in the championship. Good to see there's still action happening all over the show. 1 minute, 20 seconds to go then. And as it stands, Van Parijs, Vermeulen and Van Ree are all going to get the podium spots, but the day is going to belong to Didale. The weekend is going to belong to Didale. The championship is going to belong to Didale. He's going to have one more lap to contend with once they cross the line the next time. And yesterday, what felt like the whole world imploded on him, around him, should I say, not on him. Kept himself out of trouble, managed to put himself into pretty much an unassailable lead after coming into the weekend tied for points. It's been a sensational season for the Belgian driver. Round 1 picked up a race victory. He picked up the fastest lap, and he picked up, indeed, pole position. Round 2, he managed to get himself a race victory, and he managed to get himself the fastest lap. So Didale came out of the first 2 rounds at Spa leading the championship by quite a comfortable margin. He actually had 43 points out of the 44. Dale coming into today 19 or 18 point in the lead ahead of Paris. We now head on to the last lap. In the Red Bull Ring, it was 16 points for Dale. Race 1, race 2, only 6 points. Then we managed to get 2 race victories this lap as well for race number 1. And then it's all 16 points and 17 points. In Assen, it was 18 points and 18 points. Yesterday it was 20. Today it's looking like it's going to be another 20, well, not another 20 points, shall I say, for the Dale. The Dale is going to pick up 10 points. As we are about to come around the final couple of corners here. And Van Paris is going to pick up the checkered flag. Glenn Van Paris takes the checkered flag here then at the Hockenheim ring and victory. Thierry Vermeulen finishes in P2, Van Rie in P3, Eindhoven P4, Cordil is in P5. And there he is, Dale is going to take the checkered flag there in 6th position, but he will be the Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux champion. It was almost impossible for him to lose it, really. He just had to DNF and he would lose it, but ultimately got the job done today. What a drive it has been. What a performance it has been. And again, he didn't need to do the hard work in this race. We're getting donuts here as the smoke gets chucked out everywhere. You love to see it. But the Belgian is going to take the crown. And as we said, he managed to get 2 race wins for the first 2 rounds. Then he got 16 points in 6. And then rounds 5 and 6, he managed to pick up 2 race victories as well. And then Zolder managed to get 16 and 17 points. Assen got 18 and 18, which is 2 second positions. And then at Hockenheim has managed to get 1st and indeed 6th position. Congratulations, though, to Dale. A fantastic season. So as much as it's been relatively easy in today's race, it's a championship. You've got to stitch all of those races together. You've got to be consistent. You've got to get big performances here. And I don't know what's going on with the number 5 car there, but it looks like someone's radio controlling it. Just going all over the place. It's kind of like, see, it's like school's finished. It's like school is finished. It's like, yeah, okay, we'll just do what we need to do now. So there we go. Apologies for any technical issues, ladies and gentlemen. We've been reconnected, so all is good. So there you have it. Dale. Giving us some donuts as well. The amount of champions there have been where they get to this stage and then they completely mess up the donuts. And it makes me giggle every time. But Dale, it's almost like he's been practicing this. That's for sure. He's been getting in this car and iRacing and practicing those donuts. Leave your mark. Lovely. Van Paris, though, will take the top step of the podium and the race victory. That's what he had to do. He had to go out there, just win the race. Hope that Dale had a terrible race. Didn't work out like that, but he did indeed do his part. So congratulations. He was very disappointed yesterday with not being on the podium. But today, officially on the podium. So we've got a round of applause there, which is good to see. It was a good race. It wasn't as action-packed as yesterday, but the action yesterday was more, well, there's not really any words for it. Michael Bay produced yesterday's race.
Am Ende gewinnt Paris nach 18 Runden mit einem Vorsprung von
There's Thierry Vermeulen. And again, maybe we'll see a few of these drivers next season, maybe we won't. But congratulations to every single one of them for being a part of this fantastic championship. I have had an absolute blast commentating on it. Hopefully I'll be back again to get involved next season. Who knows? But I'm going to leave you now with the pictures. I'm going to leave you with the podium. But congratulations, Dylan Dedale. You are the Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux champion.
Und damit, meine Damen und Herren, kommen wir zur Siegerehrung des großen Finales im Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. Wir starten mit dem Drittplatzierten mit der Startnummer 72. Riesenapplaus für Steven van Rey. Auf Platz 2 der Porsche mit der Nummer 69 am Lenkrad saß Thierry Vermeulen, unser Zweitplatzierter. Und der Sieger fährt für NGT Racing, kommt aus Belgien, hat die Startnummer 15 und heißt Glenn van Parijs. Gratulation! Und damit hören wir nun zu Ehren Glenn van Parijs, zu Ehren des Siegers, die belgische Nationalhymne. Tja, Gratulation Jungs, und dafür gibt es jetzt die Trophäen. Einmal bitte nach oben und dann warten wir, bis die Fotografen glücklich sind. Ich hoffe, ihr seid es auch. Dickes Grinsen auf allen drei Gesichtern. Gentlemen, das war ein schönes Ding, was wir hier gesehen haben, das Finale im belgischen Porsche Carrera Cup bzw. Benelux. Und damit Champagner! Tja, und Platz 2. Gratulation an John de Wild, Startnummer 21. Gestern hat Rang 2 gereicht, um den Titel zu holen. Heute der Sieg für unseren Pro-Am-Champion Floris Dullard. Gratulation! Und damit zu Ehren des Pro-Am-Siegers, zu Ehren des Champions, die niederländische Hymne. Bitteschön. Tja, und auch ihr habt euch natürlich die Trophäen verdient, aber da wird erstmal der Sekt in den Schuh gekippt. Das ist eine tolle Tradition. Der Champion trinkt aus seinem eigenen Schuh, Floris Dullard. Was für ein Tag, was für ein Rennen, was für ein tolles Finale im Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. Herzlichen Dank euch dreien. Herzlichen Dank Nicolas van Dierendonck, unser drittplatzierter, Jean de Wild auf 2 und der Champion mit verdientem Sieg am Sonntag, Floris Dullard, Champion in der Pro-Am. Und damit kommen wir jetzt zu 2.